Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kissy. So I've been debating whether or not to do a reading or to just have a conversation with you. Either way, I know that the message that comes across, if you are, what's the word? If you're in alignment with the message, then it'll resonate for you. This message clearly is not for everyone. I'm noticing this more and more every day. Right now the song that's playing is, I don't know the title, but it's I've Got Sunshine on a Cloudy Day. I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl. My girl. Maybe I'm talking about my girl. My daughter, my feelings. Maybe this is you experiencing something with your feelings, but let's talk about what I was talking about. Maybe it's a Libra thing too, kind of like I do but I don't. I want to but I don't want to. I can but I don't really have to. That kind of energy, that maybe indecisive energy, maybe and it's just happening in terms of you get to a place where you realize I can easily go without expressing anything. Because you can have this mindset that says, it's like, yeah, I could put energy into sharing who I am with you, but at the end of the day, if sharing who I am with you only subjects me to questioning who I am, doubting who I am, wondering if sharing myself with you is even worth the investment. I mean, it could be very, very bleak. It could be very like, ugh, why bother? Why bother having any connection? They all feel like they fade, or they all feel like they're not even there to relate to you. They're not even there to see you. So what's the point? What would be the point? Why would I want to relate to people? Like, for example, I have all these great ideas, that things I want to do in my community. But yeah, you want to see how awkward it is to try that out in real time? For example, going to the school bus stop with my son. There's a bunch of parents there that you would assume can relate to wanting a community for the kids, like a collab. I don't even know what to call it, and maybe this is the nostalgia of who I used to be, or how, not even how I used to be, how I grew up. It felt like the parents all kind of knew each other. It felt like they were all kind of a team, a community. You felt like even though you guys were just neighbors, yeah, we all know each other. We all talk to one another. And I can say, like, I know my siblings, their communities are like this. I know my brother has a bunch of, like what do they call those? Like street parties or block parties. And they get to know each other, their neighbors, all that socializing. And my sister, who knows all her neighbors, and they're all friends, and good morning and good afternoon. It's like there's this consistency of community in the lives of the people around me. And yet, when I look at my community or where I'm at, I'm just like, you stop before you start, because a normal conversation, and maybe it's just the community I'm trying to build, it's like, how do I explain this without it sounding cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Like, I've had to learn in ways how to figure things out for myself in terms of life survival and whatnot. It's not like, oh yeah, we just have this perfect little job and this perfect little home, and I don't have and I don't have perfect little anythings in my life that way. I've had those things on the front, it looks that way, but sustaining and maintaining things with integrity that are actually that way, it's like, no, it's a lie. A lot of things feel like it's a lie. Like the perfect job isn't really that perfect. It's an effort that you make to make it feel like it's perfect. Perfect relationship isn't that perfect either. It's the effort you make because you want it to be perfect. But how much effort do you make when what you're interacting with isn't making the same effort? So if you're not receiving the same effort from the job, it doesn't support a lie. Or how to put it? No. Right. It doesn't support the lie because the lie can't be supported. Like you can't say, I love eating, I don't know, God, something disgusting, right? Like sewage. And put a smile on your face. This is like the Matrix movie where the guy's eating what looks like oatmeal, but really gross oatmeal. And it's like you have to pretend it's delicious just because it's nutritious and it serves a purpose. It's like gross. I don't want to just eat to survive, for my functions to work. I want to eat to enjoy. I want to look to appreciate. I want to listen to appreciate. I want to experience to enjoy, and not enjoy on a fake level. Like, oh, I want this to be great. Let me continue to pretend it's great just so that I can continue to live this great thing. But then it's like, you also get to a place where you realize it's like, okay, I realize nothing is perfect and nothing is great. So let me find the things I can appreciate of them. And you start appreciating everything you can, and you don't fake it till you make it. That's not what I'm saying. But you inspire yourself. Yes, I do love this. Yes, I do love you. Yes, I do love being around you. Yes, I do love feeling you. Yes, this feels great. Eating this food feels great. Being in this space feels great. Being in this energy feels perfect. To really believe and feel that, it requires more than just wanting to believe something. Like your mind has to agree, your heart has to agree, your body has to agree. Your environment feedback has to agree. It's not easy to look at life perfect and actually believe it. Like I can say 100% certainty, I am at peace. I am most content that I've ever been, and I can't express that enough. How it's not about anything other than realizing who I've been, what I've been through. Like I guess the truest understanding of who I am at the deepest level, an appreciation for myself and who I feel I have become. It has nothing to do with anyone at all. Not my children, not my parents, not my siblings, not the friends, nothing. It has nothing to do with the job. It has nothing to do with the work. It has nothing to do with nothing other than I am existing as myself in the most natural way, in the most truest way to my internal being. My outside world finally reflects who I am on the inside. And that's a beautiful thing. But now, the environment in which I'm in is going to take more time. It's like you go from within to without, right? So, like, internally, my life is at peace. And it's not to say that the world around me is peaceful. It's not to say that the world around me is in order necessarily. But my world is in order. And as my world is in order, there's more order around me. But anyways, I think I lost track, didn't I? Because I wanted to tap into something else, which is like my relationships with family. I had this experience, and I think I don't know if I posted it or not, but so on my mother's side of the family, my grandmother, who has passed, it's been several years, over a decade, but my mom and my aunt, we've discussed having dreams with her. We've discussed, memories of her and things like that. So I'm thinking this is, an open door policy. I can just talk about this anytime. Bring it up. This is we can bond over this. I'm not even thinking these things, but this is my mindset in terms of relating, right? Like, oh, we've talked about grandma before. I know it's, people don't like to talk about family members that have passed. It brings up some challenging emotions maybe, or, it can make you feel sad if you missed a person or you had unresolved feelings with the person. I'm only speaking from my personal experience. You mentioned someone that I love that has passed. I'm going to feel, I don't know. I guess what I want to say is I want people to know that they should feel gratitude. I don't know why it's so taboo, but anyway. So I bring up this dream that I had with my grandma. Now I understand that my mom's reaction was, I could have expected it had it been the same story from when I first started mentioning it. When I first started mentioning grandma's dreams of grandma, it always came with a negative omen, right? And it became a thing that was kind of scary. Like, oh shit, like, is this a gift or a curse? So then it got to a place where it wasn't being mentioned anymore, and the couple of dreams after a long hiatus, they started being more, not bringing negative omens. They were just dreams. They were they were more pleasant on the positive side. So it wasn't no longer being associated with those negative things. Yet it was still a significant dream, synchronistic, if I could say, or symbolic. So when I mentioned it to my mom, I literally felt the silence of, how like you hear traffic in the background and all of a sudden, nothing, silence, pure bliss silence. It's like, what occurred in that moment? The moment I mentioned it, I felt this feeling of pure silence, like falling into an abyss, I don't know. And so I'm like, hello, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. And it's like, it just gave me this impression that it was unwelcome or uninviting. You're uninviting. I don't know those lyrics to that song. But it's something like that. And I was like, all right, whatever. I don't have to talk to you about it. No big deal. Like, the excitement to tell I had a fun dream about grandma, to me it was a good omen. I thought this was a little bonding moment, a little bonding point, but it wasn't. But then something kept nudging me, spirit kept nudging me to call my aunt. It wouldn't be out of the blue. I mean, granted, I haven't talked to her in a couple of months, but it's not uncommon for me to call my aunt. So I call her. And I say to her, guess what? And when I tell her, she gets super defensive. So that led into this whole conversation of, that I shouldn't talk about these things. And I'm like, talk about what? And to whom? Like, I'm talking to you. You're my aunt. This is about your mother. And I would say this to my mom too. I said it to her, but I meant it for both of them. Like, this is your mother, ladies, not mine. This is my grandmother. I have a connection to her via you. And I appreciate who she was to us, what she meant to my childhood growing up. And I don't know, I just got this weird ass vibe about it all. And then I tell my daughter and her boyfriend, And they're like, I would be freaked out too. And I'm like, you would be freaked out? But I clarified that those dreams weren't happening anymore. So why are they still freaked out? Or why are they still acting like what I'm saying is so weird? Like, gosh, you have a dream about a family member that's passed on, and suddenly you can't talk about it? That's just weird to me. But it's like they project this thing like I'm this weird person. You shouldn't talk about things like this because people will talk. People will talk what? What people? Who? Please point them out. Point out who has something to say about me having a dream with my grandmother. Please point it out. Clearly, I'm still bothered by this. Because I promise you, this was on Sunday. I think I just talked about it yesterday and the day before. Like, I haven't let it go. And I hate when I get obsessive like this because they make it seem like it's like, no. You're making my mind wonder and think. Your behaviors made my mind wonder and think. I wasn't wondering and thinking about anything in regards to this. I wasn't holding on to anything mentally. I wasn't holding on to this. This was a cool experience for me. I was happy to share with you. Then you wonder why people stop sharing things with you. Now that could be directed personally to myself. Oh shit, Kissy, maybe this is why they don't like to tell you shit. Maybe they feel like you overanalyze everything. But it could also be to those folks, and you could probably relate, those folks that make it seem like they don't say it though. They don't say, it's a problem that you bring up these things that we can't cope with emotionally. They don't say that. They just give you this weird look, or they give you this weird vibe like you did something that you weren't supposed to do. Like you talked about something that we don't want to know about. You talked about something that we don't care or know or understand. Therefore, you better not talk about that because to me it's weird, so it's going to be weird for somebody else. So because it's weird for you, because you can't consider the possibility, I don't understand. I'm trying to understand here what the problem is. So you mean to tell me that it's more important to talk about how you went and bought a wine and you got shortchanged? I don't even remember how much. It was dollars. You got shortchanged dollars. That debate that you had with the store teller and them telling you that they couldn't return it and you had to debate and they finally gave you, your money back. That debate is more meaningful in your day-to-day life than to ponder and reflect upon the dream in which your mother partook, and it doesn't cause you at all to look within yourself and reassess maybe how you nurture yourself, how are you loving yourself, how you are taking care of yourself. It doesn't make you wonder why or how you feel about your mom now that she's not here to say something to her. Now that she's not here. Like, people leave relationships unresolved. And I'm not suggesting or saying that that's what they're doing. I'm just saying the behavior looks like unresolved feelings, if you ask me. Because I would think that the natural response would be like, oh, that's so sweet. Oh, it's so nice that she's still with us. Seriously, that would be my response. But obviously, depending on how soon, if it was right away, if I lost someone right away and you mentioned them, it would probably make me very sad. Oh, I miss them. At least I know they're still with us. But you miss the presence, right? As time goes on, you let it go. As time goes on, all you have is the memories. As time goes on, all you have is those memories and those visuals and those sounds and those feelings that you felt when they were there. So the fact that you can still hear it in your dreams, experience it, the fact that it's still there, that you had the opportunity to be in the presence of that energy, and it felt as real as if it was real in 3D, doesn't that make something important? Doesn't that make it more valuable? Doesn't that make it more meaningful? Doesn't that mean something? So why is it being shunned like it's something wrong or bad? My father lost his mother when he was, I think he was a toddler, maybe a year old. He never knew his mother at all. And that has lived with him his whole life. Even though he was raised with his grandmother and he adored her, he always had that missing piece of he never knew his mother. But it's because he didn't have someone around him at the time to tell him that she is with him all the time. I'm the person that told my father this. I'm the person that recognized his mother in him, the energy of her that lives in him. How the fuck is it me, his daughter, that has to tell him this? Where were the women in his life, okay, that could have said this to him so he didn't feel an empty hole in his heart when it came to who he is, when it comes to what his mother would have been like to him, how he would have been loved had his mother loved him. I don't know. Granted, this is a long time ago. So people will say, well, times have changed, you know. We don't talk about those things. We didn't talk about those things back then like people talk about things now. But we talk about human connections. Are you kidding me? It's human connections. It's how I feel, really, something people just don't talk about. How we feel means absolutely nothing to consider. That is the weirdest shit. How else do you know someone if you don't know how they feel? Maybe I was just an inquisitive child, but I was constantly questioning my parents. And that's how I learned who I could talk to and who I couldn't, because I could pretty much ask my dad anything and he wouldn't react. He would give me a double take, I never thought about that. Well, let me see. And he'll answer me. Maybe he could even say, I'm not sure, I don't know, but at least he pondered it. If I dug just a little too deep with my mom, why do you feel that, Mom? I don't know. I don't know. Get away. What the fuck? Really? The whole, I gotta go, I can't talk, I gotta go. And let me tell you how that pattern played out. Gay-ass men, and I say it not literally, really, but you never know. Men that whenever you try to talk to them, and let's say they react in a certain way or they say something real fucked up, and you're like, where'd that come from? Why are you talking like that? I don't know. The fuck? They just, what is it? What is that, crashing out? Is that what that is? For the modern folks, the younger folks, right? Because apparently I'm ancient as fuck. My daughter and her boyfriend, when I talk to them, and on one level, totally relatable. I can talk to them about spiritual things a lot easier without the red tape, so to speak, that the older generation has. But then they act like, I don't know how to explain it. They'll say stuff like, wow, you look so different. And are we looking at the same picture? Because I don't think, yeah, I know I'm older, but shit, I know I don't look so goddamn different. So, you know what I mean? People change their hair color a lot. People cut their hair a lot. People gain and lose weight a lot. But to be like, wow, you look so different in that picture. No, I really don't look that different. But anyways, I just had to throw that in there. I got a lot to say lately, huh? I hope this conversation is relatable, because I can only talk to somebody that can hear this and be like, I know, exactly. You talk to them and it's like, what the fuck? Do I exist in your reality? Are you actually... I mean, am I here? I might as well not, because you got all this, all of this about who I'm supposed to be. Like, there's no, let me discover who you actually are. It's all about, let me just believe you are who I think you are, and act like I hear you, and act like I see you, and act like I care, and act like I want to be, and act like it matters. And it's like, oh, it's a mask. It's a social thing. This is just your narrative on socializing. This is what you say when you're in this environment. This is how you operate in that. Okay. But we were talking about these men. And I'm sorry, it doesn't have to be men. It could be women too, right? Obviously, I said this is what manifested of my dysfunctional relationship to my mother. But yeah, it was something like that. Like, every time I wanted to go a little deeper in understanding the whys of why you think that, or the whys of why you feel that, or why you said that, or why this happens to you, whenever these things, you know what I mean? Like, what makes you you? I'm very curious about what makes you you, especially if you're saying, I can never this, or I don't believe I can that, or I don't think I'm, and it's like, but let's unmask that. Let's find out what it is. What's the blockage about? To me, it's fascinating to do that. I don't mind doing that. What I mind is thinking that it's normal to be that way, first of all. And doing that in a lot of my relationships that, to me, were meaningful. You would think blood relationships are meaningful, family, but not everybody considers the history. Not everybody considers the bond. Not everybody considers the moments that, that were shared. A lot of those things could just like, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Oh well. It was a moment. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, we're not really. Okie dokie. Then you do that with friendships or at jobs, all this loyalty shit with, we are one, or we are together, or, we did this as a team. And you think that it means something, and things don't mean shit. They don't mean shit to a lot of people. A lot of things don't mean anything to people. And I'm understanding that more and more every day. And I don't know if I don't know. It's like everything is meaningless in a certain way now in my world. Like, okay. But yet it's precious. The precious moments are like savored 1,000%, but it's so personal, it's so private, it's so just me. It's just me with me, appreciating like the conversation with my daughter and her boyfriend. On the outside, so much I can be like, we could debate about this, we can argue about that, we can philosophize about this and that, and all these blah 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 blah, all that noise. But at the end of the day, just sitting there and watching her go through this phase of her life, you know what I mean? Like her identity shifting as a direct reflection of her relationship. And to me, it's like, I wish she knew how valuable that is. I wish she knew that. How those moments shape us, how those connections shape us, how those connections can make or break us. Because when I was head over heels in love, I could remember my mom making commentaries, don't be too loving, don't be too, all these rules of don't be this, don't be that. Maybe those things would have been more meaningful or more impactful if there was a connection that was less critical and more open and more human. Like, when I was your age, like a relatable story of when I could talk to my daughter very much when I was your age and I was in a relationship the way you are right now. This is what I experienced. And I've been very honest and open with my kids about my life, about my experiences. I don't hide much from them. Obviously there are age-appropriate conversations and all that stuff. But I think the best thing as a parent you can be is transparent as much as you can. Transparency with your children brings relatability, I believe. But I can understand why there's so many relationships that are, boundaried. And it's not a parent to child. It could be child to parent also. I've experienced, family dynamics from the top down and from the bottom up and from, from the older generation to the younger and from the younger to the older. It sucks to be the middleman between these two realms and then trying to grapple with your own realm, your own generation, trying to understand and bring into awareness the older generation, bring them up to date, and then to have the younger generation and have to teach them, listen, I fought these battles so you don't have to, but you have to listen. You have to be willing to understand, to hear me when I speak to you. I'm not just spewing rules like a parent would just because I said so. And I'm not just spewing conversation just so I could sound like I know what I'm talking about on something. If I'm giving you guidance as a parent, and I'm not just talking to my own children, I'm talking about my children's friends, my nieces, my nephews. You think I'm investing a conversation with you just to talk shit? Yeah, there's some of that, but the investment of conversation comes with not necessarily, because I think I said something to my daughter, was having a conversation with her boyfriend about like commitment and whatnot, or about, hanging out with the boys, basically having his personal space. And then the relationship, has its time and space. But where do the boundaries get crossed? Like what's allowed and what's not allowed? And not allowed as in control issues, but clearly, if you're exclusive, you're not going to be dating other people. Like what's the rules in this dynamic? So having that conversation, I said something about marriage benefits go to, to a married man. Boyfriend doesn't get husband benefits. You know what I mean? But my daughter's like, oh, she's probably bitter. She made some comment. She's still bitter about the past. She said it like a joke. But I'm like, this has nothing to do with bitterness. This has to do with understanding life, understanding, I guess you could say, human behavior in some ways. And not only about understanding human behaviors, but learning hard lessons. Like you can't play with your happiness. You can't put your happiness in somebody's hands and let somebody destroy it. You can't put your faith in somebody's hands and let them destroy it. You can't put your hopes in somebody's hands and let them destroy it. That's a no. And we're taught to do that in love relationships. Oh, I love you. I'm going to put all of my hopes and dreams into this relationship, into us building that dream, whatever that dream is. And then when that person doesn't hold their end of the bargain, your life is ruined. And it's not like you don't see that in different cultures and different societies. That's why there's so many rules on marriage, and for the woman to be protected, because when there's values, when there's when there's meaning to the family name, when there's meaning to that, it can't just be treated like it's nothing. Oh, who cares who you date? Who cares what you do? No, of course I care who you date. Of course I care what you do. I'm thinking about your future, the future of our family. And that applies to my son, that applies to my daughter, that applies to my youngest son. That applies to all the kids I talk to. I was not raised in a way that made me understand the importance of. And I'm not saying that it wasn't demonstrated. My parents had set a good example for marriage, me growing up. What I'm talking about is how open, how real of a conversation can you have, and how, because you can say, well, it's your life, you do what you want to do. Because that's basically what my parents told me, it's your life. They were being very modern. They were trying to be modern parents. But also, they were avoiding challenging conversations. They didn't want to deal with a rebellious teenager. They didn't want to deal with a challenging conversation of, don't tell me what to do with my life. Yeah, bitch, I'm going to tell you what to do with your life, especially if you don't know how to guide yourself. You need to hear this. You're not guiding your own life when you're just running around here not realizing what's out there in the real world. So, yikes. Pandora's box. Boo ha 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 ha. So is that all, folks? I probably touched on several subjects, and I probably didn't close all the subjects, did I? But that's how I speak. And maybe that's just how I'm meant to share my message for now. I'll come back with another message soon. Take care.